Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I am back with kind of a chat video, organizational type video, down with some back problems, so I'm not getting around much, and I'm just kind of bored. I'm here alone, so yeah, so I thought I'd chat with you guys because I have no one to talk to, besides my husband, who keeps texting me that he is going to bring me spaghetti from our favorite place here in a little while, so I'm looking forward to that. So anyhow, this is a container that I keep on my desk, and it has all the newer dies that I've purchased. Usually I file them away every quarter, but this is almost a year's worth, you know, because my channel was shut down there for a while. You guys know about that. And so I kind of wasn't doing much of anything during that time, and so yeah, so they've kind of built up here, and then anything I pull out of my die cut inventory and I'm using here at my desk, after I'm done with it, I kind of throw it in here so it doesn't get lost. So there's a lot of older dies in here as well. The reason I only file them once a quarter is because I have a, let's see here, I have a binder here where I keep my die inventory, and I have done a video on how I inventory my dies on my computer, and I have them categorized like album. I do a prefix with album, and then I put the name of the die after it. So like here's all my album dies from here to here, and then it goes into animal, and then the name of it, and the animals go to the end of this page, and then it goes into birthday. I have 2 birthday dies, and then some bow dies and stuff like that. So it is, I do have prefixes, category prefixes on the titles of these. So it's but a viewer that watched my inventory video had a great suggestion, and she said, why don't you, instead of keeping them all together, put each category suffix into its, or prefix into its own folder, and that way if you buy a new die just for the in that folder, you only have to print out 1 page, you know, or something like that. And that is a great idea. That will be easy for me to do because I do have them already organized into categories, so I just have to drop them into files. Right now, I mean, I don't have that many that it bothers me to reprint it once a quarter, 4 times a year, and then I know that here's all the ones I have in inventory, and here's the newbies that aren't in here yet. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But yeah, as I get more, I'm almost to the point where, yeah, I probably do need to subdivide them and print out smaller groups. So anyhow, if I remember, I will try to link my video on how I do my die cut inventory, but it is in my playlist under like hauls and organization and stuff like that. So anyhow, so I have reprinted my inventory, so I have these. My thing is that there are some dies that I just use over and over and over again. So they keep winding up back in here, and then I have to file them away, then they come back out and I file them away. And I thought, you know what, let's just make another container by my Big Shot that has my most used dies in it. And then these will be my new ones that I haven't used yet. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm gonna do tonight. So I have this lovely container. It's not lovely. It's just, you can see it's just old raw pieces of wood, and my grandfather made this. He would knock these things together out of little scrap pieces of wood for his shop, and he would put like nuts and bolts and screws and nails, and he had so many of these grungy, oily, dirty trays out in his garage stacked around and stuff. And this one was relatively clean. Maybe it had been in their house or something. Maybe he made it for grandma for inside. But yeah, I couldn't get rid of it. It just reminds me of my grandpa. So pretty or not, I am going to go ahead and use this to organize my most used dies in. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go through, and like this little trinket box die is one of my newest ones that I just recently got at Tuesday morning. And this is something I'm kind of saving either for a party, for actual trinket boxes, or a gift, or like I said in the video where I did my haul, maybe something for the grandkids to put treasures in. So that'll be something I do with them. So it's not something I'm going to use every day, and I knew that when I purchased it. It's something I just wanted to have in my stash to use for those occasions. So I'm going to go ahead and actually file this one with all my other dies. And then this one is a little mini album. I pulled out, I was gonna make a mini album with my scraps, and then I got sidetracked. I saw a squirrel or something and went ahead and did something else. So I didn't actually do this. I still want to, but I have another junk journal in mind that I'm gonna make for a neighbor girl that I'll be doing first. So I'm gonna go ahead and file this one for the time being. I think this one, I was gonna make some envelopes for the junk journal I was gonna make for the neighbor, but you know what, I have a bunch of pre-made envelopes that I can probably use first that I need to get used up before I start making a bunch more. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and file this one for the time being. So I'm just gonna go through, and yeah, that's how I'm gonna sort, is things that I have actually project on hand, you know, that I'm gonna do, or that I just use, like these butterflies. I will use these all the time. So these are definitely going to go in my box here. Let's see, it's a shorter one, so I'm gonna put it up toward the front here. I'll put it in this one. So yeah, yeah, I've just been kind of housebound because unfortunately with sciatica, you know, your legs kind of give out, and I drive a stick shift, so I can't clutch. I can't use the clutch. So my husband actually had to drive me to the doctor. I mean, yeah. And verify what I was going through. It was a brand new doctor because I don't have a doctor, so I had to find one and then go and see the person, make sure they would actually take someone who's uninsured, which isn't necessarily an easy thing nowadays. And luckily he verified what I had diagnosed, and I was actually doing the right thing for it. And he just wanted me to continue and stuff, so I actually, unfortunately, paid quite a bit of money to find out I was already doing everything just fine. So, so yeah. But, you know, I'm glad. It takes a worry. You always worry that you've developed a new condition. And I asked him, is this going to be a new friend I take with me into my old age? Is this going to keep recurring? And he said probably not. I probably just did some kind of fluke movement, and then after it happened, I had to commute home, and our commute is 3 hours. So after 3 hours sitting in the car, my muscles just twisted up into a big knot and hit a nerve. So yeah, so that was fun. But, you know, I'm just glad that it wasn't anything serious and that it is going to go away, and just thankful for my health overall, and, you know, and trying to find other things to do here while I enjoy my little bit of downtime. Luckily, I can still make it into my office to work and stuff, so yeah, I haven't lost any work time, so that was good. So I have these two little bows. I got these. These are two different sizes of kind of the same bow that were from AliExpress. I wanted to be able to, because they're kind of a string type bow, be able to stack up a bunch of them. I haven't used them yet, so I'm going to put those here in the front because the bows, flowers, butterflies, I think these tags are going to stay. I'm going to double check. I don't think I'm going to use the basil just yet, although I am going to open the side of it here so that I won't have to when I go to use it. I eventually want to get the bags, even if they're just like cheapy little, these kind of bags, and the magnet things, so that, because sometimes these things, they stick them on. Yeah, I mean, this one's not too bad. It's popping off. But sometimes with the tape, they're stuck on there so hard you almost like bend. The die is misshapen by the time you get it off there. So I really want to put the little magnet things, but yeah, I haven't really wanted to spend the money on that yet. So I just leave them in their original packaging, or when I get spare ones of these plastic bags, I'll put them in that, just because these ones here aren't too thick, so it's not too bad, but it does bulk up your storage every time. And sometimes if you get two that are the same size, they'll nestle together, and then you don't see one as you're flipping through, that it's kind of spooned in there. So yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to file that one. There's some of these farm and foresty related ones, like these little mushrooms. I think I'm going to keep those out. I've got some other foliage things, like these little acorn and berry, and this little foliage here. There's the acorn berry one. And then this is a little foliage one. These are really cute ones. I would just tuck underneath clusters and stuff. So I'm going to put those here in the front. Some of my recipe ones I'm also going to keep in the front. This is a like build your own slice of pie. This one is a citrus, like lemon, lime, orange one, which I thought I would do for a photo of like my husband, you know, making drinks or something. And also we do have some citrus trees in the greenhouse. They're just young trees, but they're just starting to come on with some lemons and limes, so I'll be picking citrus from there. So I want to keep those out. Let's see, this is a coffee cup die with steam. I think I'm going to go ahead and file that. These are like olive branches. Again, we have olives in our greenhouse. And I would like to just use these as foliage behind clusters. So I'm going to keep those in here. This is a larger poppy. It looks like poppies or tulips. I think you could probably make them go either way. But they're kind of larger, so I think I'm going to go ahead and file those. What is this? This is, I think it's a little box. You fold it up, it's a little box, and that's why the coffee cup is there. It's a little box, and you can put the two little like creamer cups in it as a gift or at a table setting. And it also has a little bow. I think I'm going to divide these out. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to put the coffee in my kitchen with my other coffee stuff. The bow with my other bows, and the box as itself, and go online and find a photograph of it to put with it. So I'm going to set this aside as a project for me to do some research and reorganize that one, because sometimes, yeah, I think the coffee is to like designate if you put creamer cups in it, and I think it could also fit tea bags if I'm not mistaken. So it's like a little gift carrier type of thing. I think it's from this Butterfly Craft seller. I think all of these right here are from Butterfly Craft. So yeah, so I think I'm going to set that aside, and I'll leave the Butterfly Craft card with it so I can look her up online and get a photo of that die. This little thumbs up icon I'm going to put with my emoji stuff. I'm going to file that. Again, these are newer ones that farm related, a tractor and some little chicks. So I'm going to keep those out in hopes that I'm going to use those soon. Oh, I love this one. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. It's like an edge die, or it could be a doily sticking out from behind a photograph. I am definitely going to keep this out because I think I do that a lot, just cut out some kind of latticey doily type of thing to put behind a photograph. So I'll put that here with these taller ones. Now these tags and these banner tabs, they're kind of big, so but I do want to keep them out, so I might actually repackage these so they fit in this tray, but I'm going to try to prop them up kind of tall to stand up very well, but I'm going to stick them in there. Now this bow and the flowers, I'm definitely keeping those out. And again, these other two Alina Craft bows, I'm going to keep out. Stick these, like I said, I might repackage these to try to condense them a little bit because they don't need to be in quite such large things, but they do fit in there. This doily I'm going to keep with this one here. Use that. Again, here's some farm related ones I haven't used yet. This ant, cornstalk, pig. The ant I'll set aside because those are some travel photos that I want to scrap, and I don't have any plans to do travel layouts quite yet. These farm related ones I'll put up front. This kind of Scandinavian die is so pretty. I want to use it. I especially want to use it on my mother-in-law because she's from Norway, and my husband still has quite a bit of family in Norway, and I just love that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that one out for the time being. And do a picture of my mother-in-law. I want to do another mini album that's all ocean beach themed, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm just kind of saving up dies and materials and things as I see them. So I will go ahead and put that in inventory. This is so cute. I think these little teacup ones are going to be like on recipe cards. I think this is a good size to go across the bottom of some recipe cards that I want to make. So I'm going to keep that one out. The baby cradle, I think I'm going to go ahead and, when it's got a little mobile, I'm going to go ahead and file that one because I'm not going to do a baby album here in the near future. Here's another ocean one. Go ahead and file that. This one is one I just recently used. Again, it's kind of a doily one. It's kind of a half like this one. But I think I'm going to file this one back and use some of these others because I've just used this one recently. Same way with this one. I just used it recently. I'm going to refile it. Oh, spare bag. These two, I printed out pictures. This one makes a little canning jar card. But I'm not going to make that yet. After canning season, I want to do like a little canning album mini with a lot of my recipes for canning. And we're just kind of gearing up to do more canning this year, so I'm going to go ahead and file that. We do a lot of canning, so we can, I can dice tomatoes, spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, tomato juice, and then I can tomatillos, and I can tomatillos and green beans and what else do I can? Thin, and I want to start canning some of our dried beans to make them easier to work with, so I don't have to remember to soak them ahead of time. And yeah, so I want to can potatoes, corn. I do root cellar our potatoes. I root cellar carrots, onions, garlic, and squash. But I'd like to can some of those as well, especially, you know, if I just have a lot that year, a lot of extra that, or something we don't sell, get it canned up. And yeah, so we're gonna do a lot of canning. So I kind of save canning stuff aside just for things I want to make, because I know that's a big part of our lives. And so every time I see anything with canning or wheat or vegetables and stuff, I go ahead and get it. I actually found at the Goodwill, I found this, wonder if it's here. I found these old Stampin' Up dies, and I'm looking around my room to see if I can see where I set them. Oh, I do. Hold on a second. I think I can hobble. I'm gonna hobble across the room. If you hear me fall down, call for help. But there are old Stampin' Up dies. And normally I don't buy too many of the wood stamps anymore, but oh, they're not Stampin' Up, they're Close to My Heart. And, or maybe that's the same thing. I don't know, I'm not familiar with those, but yeah, aren't these cute? It has the corn cob, and then there's the corn that goes inside of it, and then it had, I think this goes with these, which could be radishes or turnips. I think this could be a turnip. You could maybe get away with, well, that's kind of too fat for a rutabaga, but then there's mushrooms, peas, like a green onion, and asparagus. We got a good crop of asparagus this year. I picked it and we ate it quite a bit, and I just let the rest of it go to grow up and nourish the roots. But yeah, I have quite a large asparagus bed. That would be another one that would be fun to try to can. Yeah, so we pretty much grow all of these except the mushrooms. I do wild harvest the mushrooms, but mostly morels, and this is just like a button mushroom. I guess I could use it for pizza making. We have a pizza oven, a domed wood-fired oven, in our living room that we make pizzas in a lot. We just made some last weekend for a company that came over. So all these, you know, a lot of these I can use. We put asparagus on one of our pizzas because, you know, like I said, we have a lot of asparagus. So yeah, so yeah, it was fun to find something. It was $4.99 at Goodwill, which I'm sure it was way more expensive when this first came out. So I went ahead and picked it up because there are just some things in your life that you know are a big part of your life, and you're gonna be able to get a lot of use out of something. So I went ahead and picked that up, and so that was fun. I got that, I don't know, last fall, I think. These are some like bag toppers, and I actually use these. I used this one for Christmas gifts. I hand harvested a lot of my flower seed this last year because I grow a large, like a 220-foot row of flowers every year, or a couple rows of them. And so I hand harvested the seed so I can plant my rows then the next year. But I had extra, and so I put them in like little Ziploc bags like this, the flower seed, and then put a little topper on top, and use them as gifts, Christmas gifts for my family, you know, free gifts. So yeah, they turned out really cute. I should show you some. I did some with marigold, and I used my own artwork for the toppers and decorated it myself, and so that was really fun. So I have several bag toppers for different seed packets, and I also dried a bunch of hot peppers, dried them and put them in food safe bags, and then put topper on them as gifts and trade to potential farm customers and stuff as freebies, things like that. So yeah, so the bag toppers, I don't need them out though, because usually I do a bunch of them at once and it's a planned activity. These feathers they're just generic feathers. I don't have any other feather dyes or anything like that. And I do like to take pictures of birds. I'm hoping someday to get chickens. So I figure I will get use out of those eventually, if not now, if not in the near future. But yeah, it's just something I know I'll be able to use for nature photos and stuff. This was a little free gift of flowers, so I'm gonna keep that. Let's see. Here's some tags that I use quite a bit. I'm gonna keep those in here. This is like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. I want to do some more children's-y junk journals, things like that, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon. These flowers, these are a mix of flowers and from various, I think all the purple ones are from hot off the press. I use these things so much. I think I'm just going to take this little free gift one here, and I'm going to stick it in here with these others, and I just use these over and over and over and over again. So I'm just going to throw them all together, and then that way you can set these all out on your platform when you go to cut, you know, 15 flowers at once. So I'm just going to stick these in here. These are ones I just stopped filing back into my inventory because I just use them so much. Here's another set of bow dies. Keep those out. Should probably put all my bows together, huh? Well, I don't know. This little unicorn, I'm going to go ahead and file that one. This is just an older one that I had used, so it can be filed back. Again, more flower dies. I use these so much, and some of them are, you know, similar to each other, but like I said, you want to do a whole platform of them at the same time. Makes it easier. Same way with these little foliage dies. I use those all the time. This one I had gotten out for a project. It was just an older one. I'm just going to file that back. This is a little road sign one for traveling. I think I'm going to file that. These are some little animal ones. I'm going to put those with the unicorn because they're kind of kidsy. Some little house ones. These are more almost Christmassy or whatever. I don't have any plans to use these right away. I think it was just on sale kind of thing, so I picked it up. Again, more flowers. I'll leave those out. Those are bigger. This one was another gift box, so I'm going to go ahead and file that. These I have no idea. Some of these have been sitting here for a year. What we got here. Oh, this is a little bird. I'll keep him out. Oh, these are some like Rolodex cards. Let's see, will that fit in here? No. Get in here though. Go ahead and file them, because I use tabs probably more than Rolodex cards. But I do have a Rolodex, and I do like to use them, so do that. This is another bow, textured bow. This is a bow. Huh, there's a theme, huh? This is a little box which has tags and hearts, and again, this is one that I need to find a picture of it to put with it so I know what it is, and I might take out the heart and the tag. I don't know, unless it really fits specific to this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to set aside with that other one to do research on. Let's see. These are like to build flowers. These are all like a little more of, you've got to take some time to really build the flowers up and put all these little things in the center. It's really more of a project, more of a fun thing to do as a build your own intricate or specific flower. I think these might be like specific types of flowers. So I am going to go ahead and file these because I'll pull those out when I want to do a layout with lilacs or daisies, or when I want to make a very specific flower and build it myself. These are some texture 3D stars. I think I'll go ahead and file those. These are some just some conifer fir tree skyline. I think I'll keep that out and try to get that, use that here in the near future. This is a teacup and saucer. It makes a little box with a teacup on each side, and so that you can stick tea bags in. So this is something I would make for a specific gift for someone, or I might just use the teacup and cut this tab off, and I could use it as a teacup die. So this would be something I'd use specifically. This is some kind of slotted pocket. This is something I'd use in that junk journal I want to make, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that in here. These are some Spellbinder flower dies. Unfortunately, a lot of them are just embossed and they don't, well, this one cuts out the shape, but some of them are more embossing than shape cutting. So you'd really have to, I'd have to layer them with my other flower dies, I think, to really get good effect from them. They're kind of more of a flat type of flower, but I think they would be good for layering with my other flowers. But I think I'm going to file these for the time being. Start another pile there. These Bow Bunny tabs, I used the crap out of these. I'm going to keep those. Again, this is some ocean themed critters and some coral. So I'm going to go ahead and file those until I make my beach mini. These are some wheat, so I'm going to keep those out. Keep this bird out. This looks like it's a little blue jay. I'm going to keep the cats out because I think I'm going to cut these out to put in the neighbor girl's junk journal. Same way with these little bunnies and stuff. I might just make a page with some envelopes stuck on it and then stick a bunch of these little die cuts in them for her to play with or use. So I think I'm going to keep that out because she likes rabbits and she has a cat. So this is, it has an old it's not Coca Daisy, but I used the card as a backer. I think this is all coffee. So set that aside. This one's tea. Set that aside. Boy, that one's pretty. It's very kind of Indian motif to it. I'm going to keep that with my other doilies here to use that. This is a little thing, a little book-shaped one that I wanted to, I've seen people use this, cut out each of the graduated sizes of the book, and then kind of sew it in the middle and leave the pages to flip around. So I think I might make one of these to put in the junk journal for the neighbor girl. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I might actually go back through this pile I set aside and just pull out a couple maybe that I want to put in her. I think I'll do that with, these are like this is like an apron and all these little kitchen tools and stuff. So I think I might cut these out for her junk journal, because I'm sure she helps her mom cook, and they also can as well. So I might put some of my canning stuff in there because they've brought me jams and stuff. She came over. She's allowed to cross the road. She's probably about 8 now, but it's a kind of a busy road, so she's allowed to cross the road now and by herself. And so she comes over, and I knew I was in trouble when she came over with her brand new joke book. So she was telling me all these corny jokes, but luckily I love corny jokes, so I had a great time. And she comes and she brings me eggs. She brought me a bouquet of lilacs. She is just the sweetest little girl. So I wanted to make her something, so I'm going to make her a junk journal that she can, you know, journal in and put treasures in and that kind of stuff. So anyhow, I'm gonna put this in with my foliage. It's not too it's not too jungly. So the jungle ones I usually put in my travel stuff when I do Nicaragua photos. Again, this is a specific flower. If I want to build, this is more of a project to me, these types of build your own. This is a build your own, like a stargazer lily. So I'm going to set that aside with my other buildable flowers. This is an older one I pulled out and did for a layout recently, so I'll file that one. So I've got this family word. I'll go ahead and file that. This is Desire stackable. Have some other butterflies. Well, I don't have a lot. These are bigger though. I think I'm going to go ahead and file these. Well, maybe I'll keep them to put them in the neighbor girl's junk journal. So I'll look through these when I go to do. That way I can have fun cutting out some of these that I haven't used yet. The skull is kind of a Halloween one. So I'm going to set that aside. These are just Tim Holtz sentiments. I'm going to go ahead and file that. This one's just a circular staircase. So I'm going to go ahead and file that. So these are all the ones I'm going to leave, and I may, as I pull some out of my inventory to use that I know I'm going to use a lot, I'll stick them in here. But let me look at these again and see if there's any that I want to do for the neighbor girl. I don't know if she drinks tea. I guess it could be cocoa. I could do this along with the kitchen-y one. So maybe I'll put that one back in here. And let's see. Oh, maybe these cutesy animals I'll put back in. Along with the unicorn. And I'll put the feathers in. I'll do some feathers for her because they do have chickens. They bring me eggs. I give them, we have a lot of the screenings for when we clean our wheat. All the undersized or broken kernels, any weed seeds, and other scalpings all go into the cleaning bins, and then we sell that as chicken feed, but we just give it to them, you know, because they're neighbors, and then they bring us eggs, so that works out. Should I make, I could use this and make a little canning jar flip. Maybe I can make a bunch of flips on a page for her with the canning jars. We won't do the ant for her. Let's see. Well, I could do the baby cradle. I don't really have any other baby, so that'll give me stuff to choose from her. So this is going to be the bin that I keep next to my Big Shot that I'm going to pull from here more, that I either pull from a lot or ones that I want to use here that I have projects in mind that I'm going to do in the near future. So yeah, so that's great. And I got to use Grandpa's tray, and I've got my new die cut inventory printed out now, and so that's good. So now I guess I better get to making the neighbor girl's junk journal. I guess I need to start going through my scraps and papers and looking for fun and appropriate papers for that. I think I'm just going to spiral bind it, make it really easy. I was thinking about making an altered book, but sewn in signatures and everything, it's just more delicate when you make an altered book sometimes. For kids to be rough with, you know, carry it places and stow it places and put it in bags and stuff like that. So I want it to be pretty sturdy. So I'll probably spiral bind it and use some plastic things. I got, let me show you. I can reach it. Oh boy. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Oh boy. Okay, so I had actually started printing out or gathering some stuff for her junk journal. One of the things I did was I went online for some free origami instructions for more kid-friendly origami, right? Is that, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, origami, where you fold the paper up to make, and this one makes a bear face. So I did a couple of these that I want to use as pages just to have some activities in the book. And then I also pulled some of my supplies. I have some of these American craft bookmarks, so I want to put a couple of these magnetic bookmarks in there. And the cats and dogs here, so I was going to put a couple of each in there because they have a dog. They have a little wiener dog, so maybe I'll use him. And the kitty they have, I don't know, I'll probably just use a couple kitties. Maybe the kitty with a sweater, she'd like that. But so I was going to use a couple of those. I was going to use a couple of these Chamel shaker stickers because, I mean, who doesn't love a shaker sticker? I mean, I do. I'm a big kid and I love it. I'll have to find some of my lenticular ones to put in there too. I don't know if I can share my lenticular. You know me and how I collect those things just because I loved them so much as a kid. But yeah, I definitely will put some, I will share and put some lenticular stuff in there. And then I had this whimsical that I bought the other day, which had like this little fox and other little whimsical things in it, bunnies and birds. And I thought I might sprinkle those throughout her junk journal. And then I got this sticker book, American Crafts, and it had a lot of, it wasn't quite completely planner oriented. It had quite a few of these like regular stickers that I could put, and I might even just take the whole page, or maybe some of these that are more planner themed, I will just put a page of each in. But I want to stick these throughout. Like these little icons, these little planner icons, I will probably take this whole page and make a pocket in the junk journal and just give her this whole page to stick away to her heart's content there. And yeah, but it had a lot of these other little things and a couple alphabets, so I could put an alphabet in there for her. Yeah, this would be a cute alphabet for a little girl with all these little dots on there. Yeah, because I probably won't use these because I don't do planners just because, yeah, I do just a computer list and that's it, or I have a spiral notebook. I write down a huge to-do list and I slowly cross it off and that's it. I don't have the time to decorate it. So I've tried to stay away from getting too much of this type of stuff, but I would totally, you know, include that in hers and let her stick them around. Kids can always find ways to use stickers. So I thought I'd go ahead and use a bunch of these in there. And then I also went to the dollar store, and like I said, I want it to be robust. So I got this. I was looking for another open closed sign because I used one of those signs in a junk journal I did for myself, and they didn't have one, but I found this for rent sign, which is a nice sturdy plastic, and I thought I might use it for the back cover of the book, just for, you know, fun. And then for one of the interior pages, you know, and I'll probably make it about this size, so it's kind of like an 8.5. I think this is 8.5 by 11. Yeah, so that'll be bigger than my 8.5, so that'll make a perfect size cover. And then I'll have like things like this in there. And I have a few pictures of their house, like way back in the day, that I might include in there, and pictures of her that I'll include in there to get her started with some photos. And then one of the pages I wanted to put in there was one of these magnet sheets. So I thought I'd include that as a page, so she can always just fold the page open and use the, you know, fold the book open like this, so that she can always use the magnetic page. Or if it's in the book, she can always, you know, take and lift the page up and be able to set something under it to look at it. So I thought that might be kind of a fun thing. And this is nice and sturdy, so if I bind it into, spiral bind it, you know, it's not going to rip or anything. So this, I might cut this down and glue it to a page, to cardstock, because, yeah, I'm not, you know, copy paper isn't that great. My printer's not very good either. It keeps putting these lines on there. But there was a repairman out for another of our printers, and I had him look at it, and he just, I don't think he knew what to do, and so he didn't do anything. So I have to find a different repairman for my printer to get rid of this, or take it in or something. It's a big printer, so I don't really want to take it anywhere. So if I can have another repair guy come out that knows more about laser printers, I'll have to do that. But yeah, so those are my ideas, and this is kind of what's going to be coming up. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and stuff, and keeping me from being lonely while I wait for hubby to come with my spaghetti. I'm kind of hungry. I'm hoping, it's like, feed me. So I'm hoping he gets here soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to starting this new project and playing with these dies and these supplies that I haven't broken into yet, that I've just been kind of setting aside to do this junk journal. So I guess next I need to start going through my papers and scraps and start pulling stuff for this. I might do some papers that are like kitchen-y themed in here, and then I will put like the, you know, these kitchen-y type of die cuts with it, and you know, put them in an envelope and let her decorate when she puts a photo on that page or something, and then she can decorate it with this kind of stuff, or she could use it to make cards, or I don't know, whatever she's gonna do, you know, let their imagination go. But yeah, I might do like a kitchen-y themed paper in there, and maybe pull out some other themed papers, maybe ones that are really themed. I need to make sure that flamingo paper goes in here, giraffe paper, any crazy colors that, you know, because kids love that kind of stuff. And so yeah, so I need to make sure to pull all those things that I might not personally use. A kids type of thing would be perfect place. Yeah, I'll probably pull out some of my unicorn rainbow theme type stuff for some pages, and also some of the emoji stuff that I have would be good. And I don't think I really have any cat or dog themed stuff. But yeah, so I'm just trying to get ideas. If you have any ideas of something I should include in her junk journal, let me know. Okay, you guys, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for hanging in there and keeping me company. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.